and a whole bunch of Ancients of War. Obviously, absolutely brilliant against those tanks, and looks like we will be seeing a bit of a battle here. Actually, we could be seeing a fairly significant battle. Fairy Dragon's actually being bought, a very sensible thing to do against human casters if you already have that Ancient of Wind up. Obviously, it's pretty much not worth it if you don't have that Ancient of Wind up, because that's a pretty hefty investment. But if you do have it up, it's such a nice thing to do, because obviously there's all that auto cast from all the human casters, as well as 3 heroes as well, which are be constantly casting spells. And these 2 towers are very low actually, but it looks like Infi not going to let them go down. Instead, he's going to try and pick a battle here. And it looks like, oh wow, bolt going off there, but a rejuvenation being stolen for that Mount King. Very annoying thing to play against, just because there's absolutely nothing you can do against it apart from just rejuvenate, then immediately pull your units back, which is really annoying if it's on something like a hero. And it looks like actually again through pushing forward with these hippogriffs first is just such a nice thing. Because you don't really mind if they get focused down. Very nice blizzard going down there, but unfortunately it does leave the Archmage very exposed. And these it looks like Thu's very sure that there's gonna be a fight now, because he used all his fairy dragons at once there, and it looks like these bears are just absolutely doing so much damage. TP being used now, and a Thu at 90 food, really doing so much damage. But it looks like a TP being used just to get into a better position here. Very sensible choice, because obviously with all these mortar teams, it's so nice to make use of your range. And actually, considering how much of Infi's army is ranged, really clever thing to do here. But I imagine, considering that he's at 94 food, he's producing something from the Chimera Roost. Yes, he is. I wonder if he has the Corrosive Breath upgrade. Oh no, not yet. It's a shame he didn't get that while he was sitting at 80 food. That would have been a nice thing to do, but certainly it's not going to be too bad situation to be in. And 99 food now for Thu, and still have 700 gold in the bank. Pretty nice there for him. But Infi at 77 food with 3,000 gold in the bank. That is absolutely insane for this point in the game. Unfortunately, Infi not mining from the top wars. I imagine Thu still is. Thu actually not even mining, considering he's at high upkeep. He'd be getting so little. He's just going to wait it out. Going to decide that he doesn't really need that gold right now, and he can wait until he's back to low upkeep and then start mining again. He definitely won't wait for no upkeep. And it looks like these unupgraded chimeras, or unupgraded in the sense they don't have Corrosive Breath. They are 3/3 upgraded, to be honest. But it looks like actually they are going to be doing a bit of damage, but they just know that they're so vulnerable. I wonder if we're going to be seeing flying machines. Yes, look at how many flying machines are being built up here. We need to be very wary of that panda, though. Obviously, Breath of Fire absolutely destroys flying machines, and actually, so do hippogriffs. So I really need to be so careful with those flying machines. But they can be very lethal in large numbers, especially once you're tier 3. And they just produce so quickly as well. Breath of Fire being absolutely spammed. Tremendously nice use of it here by Thu. And actually a staff being used there to dodge a bolt. Very nifty play there by Thu. Really giving it all. And this expansion is very low. And there's still 1900 gold left in this mine, so it's very much worth picking up that expansion, because Infi will definitely be wanting to rebuild it. And at the same time, you can see he's spending so much repairing it. He's lost so many peasants. Absolutely phenomenal pressure here by Thu all game long. It's so annoying to play against a towering human, but there are just options these days. There's so many things you can do. You know, this expansion saying solo does go down, and oh my god, this could be so bad, because Infi's definitely going to have to rebuild it. I wonder how much money he has left. He has 1300 gold left in the bank. He is at 87 food, and so I think we're going to be seeing a push out from Infi. We could be seeing expansion rebuilt, or I imagine we will be, to be honest. But I don't think we'll be seeing him just push out immediately. But we're going to have to see. It looks like he isn't actually rebuilding it for the moment, which is a bit surprising. Maybe he's going to wait for a couple more flying machines. He isn't 90 out of 90, so he will need to build more farms, which I'm not seeing at the moment. A bit of an odd choice here not to rebuild. There we go. There he's finally rebuilding. That's going to provide both the food that he needs to get to 100 and that valuable income. You know, I wonder if Thu's taken his whistle off both the mines, and he still has sort of 4,000 gold left in these mines. Really nice play here. He knows that if he loses the mines, he's lost anyways, so it's not too big a deal. And he knows that he can rebuild if he needs to. He has 700 gold in the bank, which is certainly going to buy him back a fair bit of army, plus all the units he will have staffed away. He just basically needs to be careful not to lose both his heroes, because he couldn't buy them back at this point. and so I think it might be worth to maybe have 1,000 in the bank as opposed to just 700, but certainly not a huge deal here. And one bolt going off on this Chimera, but this mass air army now going to be so susceptible to all the splash damage here. But you can see through just getting straight into this battle with all that extra damage, going to be so lethal with those hippogriffs, but extra armor actually being used. Very nice against those hippogriffs, but no effect with against the panda, who is just being forced to lag behind, unfortunately. And it looks like Thu actually needs to be more careful with keeping his army together. Some of these low hippogriffs could really be taken out very quickly, and it looks like Thu just needs to bring back these chimeras. If he loses them, that could be so critical. And it looks like, wow, what amazing position on these fairy dragons. Really gutsy position, but they're just going to do so much damage before they die. And actually they're going to soak up a lot of damage from those flying machines as well. And these chimeras, unfortunately, it looks like they're just being focused down. Unfortunately, Thu got a bit too aggressive with them, and I think the rest of his army sort of fell a bit behind. And Infi actually might be able to pull this off. Look at how many breakers he has left, doing so much damage with all that blizzard. But it looks like Thu has leveled up to level 5 now on his panda. That is so nice. 170 damage in a breath of fire, and only 200 health on those flying machines. You can just do so much, and it looks like panda just had enough mana to do that before the TP went off, and then a bunch of breakers sort of focused him down, and unfortunately he just didn't have the mana to actually hit all these flying machines, which would have been so nice. And you can see Thu brought in all these Ancients of War, which you just can't use now. Thu desperately retreating, needs to heal up, needs to start mining. I hope yes, he has started mining, thank God. He's at 64 food. He really needs to get a whole bunch more gold in the bank. He really has played it very riskily here, not having quite enough gold, unfortunately, to just do a rebuild as much as he needs, as quick as he needs it. And certainly it's a gutsy move for the very long game, and it's a very smart move actually, if you can do it, if you can pull it off right. And it looks like actually this Arcanine chain very low, getting staffed away though. Very nice play here by both sides actually. Started out a bit sloppy actually, losing one unit to the Ancient of War and losing a militia to creeps, but it's just gone so well since then. What a phenomenal game. It's just so back and forth. I think possibly Infi could have benefited from going heavy air earlier, but certainly it's been phenomenal, this game. And we're seeing a lot of pressure being put on by Thu now. Obviously these bears are so good for pressure. You can just get them to attack, then either staff them home once they have tanks or have 900 damage, and bear in mind they have like 9 armor as well, so it's not easy to do that much damage. But then they can rejuvenate up, heal up on moon walls, just so effective. Another TP or another staff of teleportation being used here by Infi. He's made such good use of that staff of teleportation. Pretty much more uses of it than basically I've ever seen before. Just constantly using it to make small jumps as well as large jumps. Always, it's just all these battles have been about positioning. They've all been around this space here basically, and it's just been such constant pressure. Infi knows that he was going to be on the back, but basically no matter what he did against that Dark Ranger, you have such a disadvantage because that in the early game, because that Dark Ranger is so strong with all those skeletons. So Infi knew that he needed to keep off the pressure. He needed to go for a bunch of towers, and that's exactly what he did. And it looks like actually Infi could have pushed back again here. This game has been so back and forth. Silence being used though. No bolt could be used by that Mountain King, but it looks like he might actually be able to take out that bear nonetheless. No, it looks like a one Dryad managed to distract him for long enough. And a Fairy Dragon here, going to be able to do a whole bunch. Fairy Dragons with 3/3 upgrades, that's something just insane. Like, even though they've never actually used for attacking, just something so weird to see basically. And it looks like actually one of these it looks like we're seeing an incursion into Infi's base here with these Ancients of War. Unfortunately, they're not being focused onto the towers. Gyrocopter bombs being researched now as well. So it will be extra effective now in case Thu decides not to build any more air units. Those gyrocopters will be able to focus down Dryads quite handily. And another battle coming in here, just such constant action in this late game. And it looks like a Mortars team's unfortunately not focusing down the Dryads. That's really what they need to do at this point, especially considering their tier 3 upgrade. And these Mortar teams, or all these Dryads are so low. I think Thu should just get them out of here at this point. Maybe this is better to tank a bit more. Looks like some of these Dryads might go down. No, looks like they might just get away. A very nice play. One bolt going down, but another staff being used. What brilliant use of staffs by both players this game. And these low Dryads will be rejuvenated up, and that'll be very nice here for Thu, who is still mining a fair bit. It sort of has 400 gold left, which is more than enough. I think he should bring in these all these units now. He's master trained dots. That's such clever use of his money. Obviously he was at 100 food, so he couldn't actually get any more units. So instead, what he does, just to get more effectiveness, he gets the master training. Probably not going to use it for cyclone, but it's just so useful for things like just having extra mana for your for all your fairy fires, which is basically the only thing you need it for at this point. And looks like Infi just finished mining out his mine just then, and so Thu gonna have slightly more mining time now. We're gonna have to see what Infi has left in the bank. Only 250 gold. Infi's basically on his last legs now. He can try and hold out. He has 3 heroes against the 2, which is pretty nice. And actually, oh wow, gyrocopter bombs coming in here, but a nice staff home here. Gonna mean that Thu can take it out. Meanwhile, Thu with a bit more gold, bringing in his Tree of Eternity. There's not really too much he can do, and it looks like Thu really needs to spend his sort of excess of gold. Maybe bring in his Wisp, but obviously he doesn't want to feed experience. At the same time, he just really needs to go get some sort of push going. Try and just take out Infi. Obviously, there's less time pressure now, but at the same time, you want to fight this on your own terms. Thu really in a bit of trouble now with his Dark Ranger. He needs to get it over here. Does have a staff of teleportation and a healing scroll, and actually passing the invul pod as well. But looks like, oh wow, level 6 Mountain King coming in here. What a beast indeed. And looks like actually more staff being used here by. And the slow Dark Ranger does need to be careful just to stay out of the way of that Mountain King. Getting rejuvenated now, definitely needs to make sure that isn't stolen by the